lovely friends, I know the light is fading and so is my time. So, this is going to be take 2 at something that I tried last year and it kind of fizzled out. Life happened, 2023 was 2023. You'll have seen parts of it in my Little Thieves / Painted Devils vlog that I put up, but for the most part, I think that vlog just got scrapped. We're going to try and do this again. We're going to see how long it takes me to read for 24 hours. One of my goals this month has been to read every day, even if it's just for a little bit, even if it's for just like 5-15 minutes, anything like that. And so I am challenging myself, and I'm picking a really weird weekend to do this, but I'm going to be spending a lot of time on a plane, so I figure I'll get a lot of reading done. I am heading to my brother's early tomorrow morning, which is why we're starting this here. So before we get on that plane tomorrow, I need to decide what books I want to take with me. I need to decide if I need to download any audiobooks so that I can listen to them on the plane, and I need to also pack. At some point that will get done. But I wanted to start this while I had daylight, and I have no idea what I am currently like planning on reading. I know one of the books that I have to read is The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. This is part of my TBR-thon TBR. And then the other book that I'm supposed to be reading right now, and I don't know how this is going to work because I want to read both of these physically, but the other book I'm supposed to be reading is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. At some point, I'll get this. I'm just going to do my best to try and read at some point today so I don't lose my streak, and then we will really start trying to get that 24 hours thing done when we go on the plane. Oh, another book that I am currently reading, okay, I guess I know what I'm reading this for this vlog, is Vampire Forensics: Uncovering the Origins of an Enduring Legend by Mark Collins Jenkins. This, you're going to see me reading a lot of vampire books. I'm just going to go wash my hair because that needs to be done before I leave tomorrow. So I'm going to do it now so I don't have to get up earlier than I already have to get up and do it then. Woohoo! Sorry. I'm trying not to show, like, the complete disaster that is my brother's room. Oh, hey, I could do this. Can I do this? I can do this. Oh my god. I might just live here from now on. Hello. I have made some progress in a book. I am here in Baltimore. I made it to my brother's without incident for me. We did have a medical emergency we had a medical emergency on the plane to the point that they asked for a medical professional, and then they came back like 5 minutes later. I'm like, are there any other medical professionals on the plane? I did get to read for about 2 hours during the flight. I have made it to page 88. The thing about living in Florida is that when you live in Florida, it warps things. And I thought that since this was lying flat, it would be fine. Apparently I was wrong, but that's fine. My bookshelves look nice and my books are lived in. You can tell that I've definitely taken this to like a hair appointment or two because you can see the hair dye on the pages. I love this book so much. The way that V.E. Schwab just kind of introduces us to the character of Kel. And like there are 3 things you know about Kel, like from the very beginning, like really fast. 1, he wears a really fancy coat. 2, he can travel through worlds. 3, he's definitely a klepto. I love him so much. Like he's about to get into so much trouble, and I know that's what's gonna happen. And then we also get introduced to Lila. We don't see as much of her because her section is like just this little bit right here. So it's very interesting because I am seeing what people say about Lila when it comes to the I'm not like other girls trope. But here's the thing, like, yes, it's that, but you also, like, their context is important. Number 1, Lila is basically a street urchin. I mean, she's an adult, she's a grown now, but she's basically a street urchin, and the thing about that is she's poor. And specifically, like, we just had a quote where hold on, let me see if I can find it. I think I have her in green. This is nope, that's the wrong quote. There it is. Like, maybe she kind of doesn't feel bad at all for preying on other women because, and when I say preying, like, she's a pickpocket. Like, she doesn't feel bad. So she's justifying why she doesn't feel bad at all from stealing from women specifically, like when she's stealing from rich people. Like, she doesn't feel bad about stealing from anyone because she's doing what she has to survive. But she is specifically discussing why, like dissing rich women. And here's the thing, is the way that she's dissing rich women and having it talk about, like, how, oh, they always are like depending on their nice rich men with their but that's very much, that's more about class than it is about Lila just hating other women. I mean, she does think she is something special, but she's survived a lot. For me, it frustrates me when people say that that's one of the reasons they don't like Lila, because like context is important, and why someone is like that is important, and the fact that like it's not just rooted in her internalized misogyny. It's rooted also in the fact that she is a poor woman who is looking at these rich women who her knowledge of them is entirely what is being reported by different newspapers and being talked about. So it makes sense that she'd be like, oh my God, they're so waifish and whiny and all of that stuff. Like, because that's what she's been taught. That's what she's been told, not just about women, but like rich people in general. Like, so maybe if you don't know as much about like the Regency and Victorian periods in England, and you don't have that context, or you haven't put those pieces together in that context, but like for me, it makes sense that she's angry at society, and so she justifies her. Anyways, I don't know. I love this book so much. We're 2 hours down, 22 to go. We're playing, or I'm doing D&D, like a character building session with my DM here in a hot minute. I have editing that needs to happen and some other stuff, and I don't have an audiobook just yet. I don't know what I'm gonna do for my audiobook just yet. I could do this. I'm pretty sure I have the audiobook for this, or if I didn't, I could probably get it. No, I specifically want to like read this and annotate it and stuff. I'm not doing a lot of annotating. There's just not a lot that I have to say about the book as I'm reading it. I just like it's like there's stuff that I don't remember, but it's also like coming home after a long day, like just picking up and starting this book. Like listen to here, I'm gonna read you guys this first sentence because I just love this first bit. Hell wore a very peculiar coat. It had neither one side, which would be conventional, nor two, which would be an unexpected, but several, which was of course impossible. I just like, oh, it's like coming home after a long day. I'm gonna go see if I can get some video editing done before it is time for Dungeons and Dragons. And yeah, I'm going to use my brother's fancy dice. He's got, I think one of these sets is the Dispel dice set, which is a really expensive set of dice. But I literally was like, yeah, all I'm bringing, it was very funny. I was like, all I'm bringing is my character sheet. I'm not going to bring my dice. I'm not bringing any of my books. My brother's going to have everything I need. I just need my character sheet. So I brought my character sheet and my spell cards, and we'll see how this goes. We've been working on this for months, getting to a point where we can actually start doing stuff and playing. I'm here. We have an update. Not much of one. So we made it to the 100-page mark. We are starting to get a little bit more into like the politics of the world and what is going to be the main problem. And it's very funny because I could have sworn we got to that moment where Kel just screws everything up. Or I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to go into detail, but like I could have sworn we got into that so much quicker, but we're a third of the way almost. Well, a little less than a third of the way because it's 400 pages. And we haven't gotten there yet, and I'm just like, wow, this happened a whole lot later than I remember it happening. D&D last night went great. Well, it's not D&D. It's like, I mean, it is, but it isn't. Basically, we just sat down and we went over kind of some important events in my character's life and things that she would know that may influence the rest of the story. Or not necessarily influence the rest of the story, but like how she views things and her relationship with certain characters. Of course, because of the character I did something that's very potentially like really connected to the things that are going on in this story right now. Did that without knowing. I was just like, hey, here's this idea that I want to do, and here's the backstory. And he was like, okay, cool. So, like, do you think she'd know the royal family? And I was like, yeah, probably. Based on what you're describing to me, that's a definite thing that would happen. It was very fun. I love our DM. He's one of my players in my game, and he just always, like, does, you know, all of my players are fantastic. But he really, like, gets into the world building, and you can tell that the world is very real in his head, and he knows all of these things about it, and I'm just like, wow. I didn't get much reading done after that because my brother, I had to edit a video, and we're about to go up and do some more of that because I'm going to try and get it. We're actually going to go hang out with Johnny later, which means we're going to be on the road for 2 hours, which I probably will get some reading done there, potentially. Oh, I should probably get an audiobook before then, because if I don't have an audiobook, then we'll be driving back in the dark. I am currently at 2 hours and 24 minutes, so we're currently like just doing the worst at this 24-hour challenge, but like I wanted to start it because I wanted to start it. I probably should have waited till like Monday to start it. Whatever. Hello, welcome back. We're here. I really did think I was going to do more reading than this, but I was editing a video. Because it's not like I haven't had time to myself to read. I need to get myself an audiobook so I can listen to shit. I just haven't found anything that I want to read. So, anyways, we are headed to DC today, but I wanted to give y'all an update. I am now halfway through A Darker Shade of Magic. I'm on page like 204 or something like that. And I'm at 3 hours and 25 minutes in, because we've been working on this since the 11th, so 11, 12, 13th. This is the 14th. It's fine. I'm doing real well with this challenge. Anyways, that's the update. I'm still enjoying it. I really like it. I think that V. Schwab does a really good job of like pacing, and it's really like very easy to read. You're staring at me.
I know. It's fun. I'm wondering if I can interact with the audience or not.
You could if you wanted to.
I don't have any shirts on.
Well, then go put a shirt on, bruh.
That's why having an audiobook is nice. Everything's easy to read when someone reads it to you.
I'm not reading it to them, though. I'm just summarizing my thoughts and mostly gushing. I just, like, it's funny because I think I already mentioned that, like, Kel and Lila meet, and Kel gets the stone a lot later than I remember it happening. So, of course, I'm waiting for that to happen, but, like, you don't feel like it's dragging even as she's doing that. You could teach classes on how to structure a fiction novel. I bet if you sat and tried to break this down by the Save the Cat beats, it would be going by, like, you'd have Save the Cat. Like, it would work perfect. Like, it would follow all those beats to a T. He is currently staring out at the harbor. Well, that's not really the harbor, that's more like the marina. I just wanted to say, I've only met 2 staircases in my life that have ever given me pause. One was in a castle, and it was meant to keep people from being able to go up and down it easily if they invaded. And then the other one is this one. Those steps, look how small those steps are. I just had to show you guys this. Is so, it's cool. It's cool looking, but I'm definitely paying more attention to it. Ignore my brother's mess. Then,
How dare you?
ta-da. Than I do at home. You know, you fall down the stairs like so many times as a child and you don't care. Like, it's fine. The worst I can do is fall on my ass. I feel like that one would hurt a little more. Hello, as you can see, I am back in my room, and I have books that came in, actually. We're going to start. This was going to be a completely different, it's hilarious that this, it is really funny that this package came now, because I was just getting on to update you guys about what I read while I was at my brother's. Clearly, I am home now, I've come back, yada, 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 but I was like, ah, darn. I don't have a physical copy of All Systems Red. I'm not going to unbox this for you guys on camera because there's no way to do that without showing my address, so that's not happening. Look what just arrived at my door! Perfect, there are my scissors. Hilariously perfect timing. Last we talked, look at these, they're so pretty. We're going to get rid of this because I never use, bye. But I got the first 4. So I got All Systems Red, I got Artificial Condition, I got Rogue Protocol, and I got Exit Strategy, which is the next one that I've read up to Rogue Protocol. So the next one that I need to read is this one. It was very funny. We finished All Systems Red, I think, Monday night, and my brother's like, oh, do you want to go into the next one? And I was like, bro, we don't have time to finish the next one by the time I have to get back. So where we are with this little 24-hour challenge, because we're about to finish this thing. We're not about to. We've still got like several hours left, but I did sit down and do the math because I got a lot of reading done yesterday. So let's talk about what I read. Talk to me. When was the last time I talked this fast on my channel? Like, I just, like, so you know what? There's just like a rush you get with new books. Where are all of the books I read, though? There we go. Okay, cool. None of these are on my TBR. When you guys last saw me, we were listening to All Systems Red. We finished it, like I said. I love it. I love Murderbot. I love this as a setup novel. It's just so well done. And the way that she's able to package this story in this like tight little novel and have like something that feels full and complete and interesting and keeps you going without it needing to be several hundred pages long. It's 171 pages. It will be the best like 5 hours of your life. And then you'll be done. I read this, hold on, let me tell you how long it took us to read this. Probably a little bit off, but I don't know how it took us 5 hours to read we had to backtrack quite a few. So 5 hours and 14 minutes to read this with my brother, and that was even on 1.1. I probably should adjust that because it was a 3-hour audiobook. I know how long this audiobook is, so I don't know why Bookly... Hold on, I've got to adjust. So this is 3 hours knocked off of my 24 hours that I need to read. I also, while I was on my first flight home, because for some reason Spirit doesn't do, like, the flights that I was finding to Tampa, they all go to Fort Lauderdale first, and then they come across to Tampa. But you have a direct flight out of Tampa. It's very weird, and if I had, like, known that, I probably would have just been like, I mean, like, I use a layover to edit and stuff, so I didn't mind sitting in but it's just weird to do a layover when you're, like, within driving distance of your home. I also finished A Darker Shade of Magic. This knocks off 7 hours and 24 minutes, so now we're at 10 hours, something like that. I also picked up Vampire Forensics for a little bit on the airport, or on the airplane while we were, like, boarding and all of that stuff for my second flight. I didn't read this the entire time because it was a night flight, so I actually ended up switching over to an audiobook for most of the flight, and currently I am reading The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic by Brianne Randall. It is okay. I'm not loving it, but I'm not... Like, there are moments where I'm like, I hate this book. Mostly, I'm just reading this for the grandmother at this point and the mess. Because, like, our main character just... like, she's so messy and antagonistic and, like, just frustrating. And, like, there are parts of this character that I definitely identify as because she's a bottler. She is a bottler. She bottles her emotions. Everything needs to be in control, under control. I think she probably has undiagnosed either ADHD, no, not ADHD, anxiety or OCD. There is a lot that is lining up with those things, and I think she would be in a much better place with her magic if she had some coping mechanisms, because she freaking needs them. Oh, good lord, she needs them. The male main character is okay, the love interest is okay. I don't hate him. I think he is... Basically, it's a second chance romance, and it is kind of a situation where, honestly, I can't blame him for leaving, because she kind of... I wouldn't say roofied, but she gave him basically what was truth serum. Like, that's very suspicious to me, and I also would have left right quick if I'd realized someone had done that to me. But, like, basically... The way this book works, she has she has magic, her whole family has magic, but their magic also comes with a curse. And her curse is that she is going to have to suffer 4 heartbreaks, and she might risk losing her magic because of these heartbreaks. So she obviously was like, oh, well then I'm just never going to fall in love with anyone again, ever. Actually, no, not again, because she hadn't been with it, but she's never going to fall in love with anybody, because she doesn't want to, she doesn't want to risk losing her magic. And I have a feeling that the fact that she is trying so hard to keep control of her magic is actually the thing that's going to be endangering her magic. They were really close as kids. They grew up as best friends. Her brother is, like, abandoned her in the last year, and she's mad about it. Her grandmother has cancer and has just told her, and she's like, what the fuck? There's heartbreak number 3 there. But when they were younger, the dudes, like, they had this, like, he told her he loved her and then skipped town. Like, literally skipped town. That broke her heart, and so she's never, like, been able to, or wanted to commit to anyone again. And he's back, and he comes back around the same time that her grandmother tells her that she has cancer. She stole his dog! That's the thing that I'm taking, like, I couldn't tell you much about this book, except that they're, like, it's kind of just, I don't know, maybe I'm emotionally stunted or something, because she's just, like, she sees him again for the first time, and she's, like, all back in the past, and runs out to her, and I'm just like, I cannot think of a single, not a world where I had the feelings that she had about this guy at the beginning of the book, and then I forget those for a minute because I'm back in the past and I'm gonna run out and give him a hug, and, like, he apologizes. He did really, like, that was a like, top tier apology, to be honest, because he's just like, listen, I fucked up, I'm really sorry. You don't have to forgive me, but I wanted to apologize, and he brought her a gift that was really, like, he picked out a personal gift. This has been very long and rambly. I don't know how I feel about this book, but she stole his dog! Like, she didn't know she was stealing his dog. She just found the dog. There hadn't been a, like, phone number on the back of his tag, just his name. And so she was like, oh, well, this puppy needs someone to take care of it, and we already have a dog, so she just goes to get, she just brings the puppy in, names it Bambi, because it can't, like, it's very young and awkward. It's a chocolate lab. And then she finds out, like, later that he's looking for this dog because she hears him calling for it. And, like, number one, this dude is way too laid back for someone who lost their puppy. Like, there would have been signs plastered all over my city. There would have been an announcement. Not in my city, but in my town. This is a small town. There would have been an announcement in the newspaper. Like, like, I've seen what happens when people's dog goes missing. I've thankfully never had that happen to me, but I've seen what people do, and, like, they put posters up everywhere, and they're asking people, and, like, there's stuff on Facebook not Marketplace, but Facebook, like, the neighborhoods thing. And none of that is happening. Like, she should have known that this dog was missing well before we hear him calling, so I don't know why she didn't, especially considering that it's a small town. So, like, it's one of those things where, and he grew up there, so, like, he would, if I were him, I'd be asking people, like, hey, have you seen, just so you know, I had a puppy, he ran away, if you guys see him, just let me know. Give me a call. She finds out that this dog is his. And she's like, he doesn't deserve this dog. And decides, like, she just goes right back in the house and, like, doesn't, like, I don't care how much you hate someone. If you find someone's dog and they're not, like, a terrible piece of shit person, tell them you found their dog. At this point, we like the love interest more than we like the main character. She is, like, she's such a mess. I don't know. It's weird because I feel like the tone is off, because I feel like it's a very serious, introspective romance. I don't think this is a rom-com. Just because it hasn't felt like one. This feels more like if you're, it feels more like the heart principle versus the kiss quotient, if you know what I'm, kind of talking about. Like, it feels too serious to be a rom-com. It feels a little bit like we're tackling with a lot of heavy subjects. We're tackling with the fact that our main character has anxiety of some sort. And it's not like this is not some situation where they don't know about mental health stuff, because her best friend is bipolar and is on medication because of her bipolar disorder. And so, like, she knows of these things. Anyways, I keep going off on rambles and I don't remember. Oh yeah, it's just weird because, like, it feels like there are places where it's supposed to be weird little hijinksy moments, especially when her magic starts, like, misbehaving and going haywire. I don't know. But, like, it's such a serious tone in what, and maybe it's, I don't know, that partly might be the narrator, because narrator sounds like your grandmother is narrating it almost. Like, it sounds like a very much older, more mature woman, and our main character is, like, 28. I think a younger narrator, maybe that could get would get a little bit more of the lighthearted tone, because I'm not getting lighthearted tone, but there are places where it's like, oh, this is supposed to be a lighthearted romance novel, and her grandmother's dealing with cancer, so maybe it's not. The tone feels fine until her magic starts misbehaving, And then there will be some things that it's just like weird little hijinks things that happened almost. But sometimes the things will happen or they're supposed to be cute and funny. And I'm just like, this feels really out of place. We're on sprints. I have 23 minutes left. I'm going to try and tackle some of this while we are on sprints and I am listening to this audiobook. And yeah, ooh, my phone is going to die. It's very nice having a new phone. Because the battery lasts all day. I'm gonna listen to this. I'm gonna work on cleaning my room. I am trying out an app called Dubby. It is an app done by a pair or a couple. I know the wife for sure has ADHD. And so they basically made a body doubling app. So I'm hoping, like, they let you try out one for free. So I'm hoping that if I try out I'm gonna try out the one for cleaning your bedroom and see if that helps me keep on track enough that I can actually, like, make some progress. Part of it is I need to figure out what to do with the books that don't fit on my bookshelf. Like, I don't know what to do about this situation. Like, there's so many books that I have that don't fit on my bookshelf. It's fine. At some point, not this month, maybe next month, I need to clean my room before I can do this, but at some point I'm going to repaint the room. It will not. I'm thinking I may change the purple because the main reason I've been, like, not repainting my room is that I didn't want to have to take these down. But I also need to replace this one and that one. So if I have to take the books off of them all, like if I paint the walls and I need to take the books off of them already, why not replace them then? I'm a disaster and I'm gonna go do some cleaning and listen to a book while I do it. Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Are any of these books on my TBR? No. All right, good morning. Hello, welcome to the, wow, that just like, poof. Okay, anyways. So good morning and welcome to the final day of what is a poorly lit, hold on. Okay. Hi. Yes, I do treat my bed like a jungle gym. Why would you put those slats there for me to balance on if I wasn't meant to balance on them? Hi, as you can see, it's early. I mean, it's not. It's 11 p.m. a.m. It's 11 a.m. However, I realized that, I have not washed my sheets. I changed my bed and put them in the laundry and have not washed the other sheets. So they're both dirty now, so I have to wash them before I can do the Sundays when I change my bed. So this is just going to stay this way until the sheets are, I might make it and change it tomorrow. Anyways, this is going to stay this way for a little bit. I may film today. I may not. We may save filming for tomorrow. Did I talk to you yesterday? No, I did not talk to you yesterday. I didn't do a lot of reading yesterday until about the time that we did sprints on my channel. So I finished The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. It's getting 2 stars. I can't. The fuck is this book? If it had just been like the magic stuff and the family stuff and all of that, and then like the kind of weird tension of your boyfriend coming back to your small town without, like, and despite him having, like, we never even really got into why he left so suddenly. Did we even talk about that? Did we even cover that? I don't know. I had to stop, like, I had to stop reading at one point and, like, just stop with the audiobook and just, because it was so awkward at the very, very end. And I just, like, everything ended the way I thought it was going to end. Like, that doesn't usually bug me. I'm usually happy to have figured it out. But I just, like, it annoyed the heck out of me. And then the whole thing with the girlfriend and the fake, I can't. First 2-star of the year. Goodbye. Oh, that's on the floor now. I decided that we needed to, number one, end this vlog because I think I would like to start another vlog tomorrow. I still am working my way through Vampire Forensics. That's nonfiction. I'm not planning on finishing that by the end of this vlog, but I am liking it. It's very interesting, like, how he is pulling out different ways that vampires have been viewed in the past and, like, where they fall in our literature, and I've gotten a lot of stuff that I'm maybe looking into later to see. But I wanted something that would be a little bit of a palate cleanse, something that would be lovely and wonderful, and something that would also contribute to my goal of finishing series. However, I've realized, after rereading the first book, that I actually need to reread book 2. I remember. I don't remember book 3 very well. So I was like, well, then I just need to reread all 3 books that I've already read. So I was like, why don't I just grab Artificial Condition and we'll listen to that because it's a very good audiobook and I very much enjoy it. And it's a fun time and it will definitely be a better read than what I just read. I have 4 hours and 35 minutes to finish this thing. So I'm gonna listen to this. It's a 3-hour audiobook, 3-hour and 21-minute audiobook. I'm going to need something else to listen to. I might listen to the next book in this series. I might. I don't know. I am making this up as I go along. Have you guys figured that out yet? I'm gonna do that. I'm going to do my morning routine, even though it's 11 p.m. Where did my Sunday go? Please, no. I have stuff that I have to do tomorrow. Anyways, title is downloaded. I'm gonna start listening to this. We're gonna finish this 24-hour thing. I am doing better because I was looking at the footage for my last attempt at a 24-hour challenge, which has just become a themed reading vlog. It's just a reading vlog about the book that I was reading because that was all I was reading. It took me 3 weeks to do that, and we're at like a little over 1 week this time. So what we're going to have to do is sometime later this year, we're going to try this again at a time when I am not traveling and don't have anything better to do with my time than read. I will see you guys in a bit. I'll update you when I've made some progress, probably when I finish this thing, because it's not going to take me very long. Anyways, thank you. I'll see you later. It's one of those mornings where, like, the tea is just hitting extra good. Oh man, you feel that warmth like down in your soul. Hello everyone. Oh, no, okay, we'll put this back here. Okay, hello, hi, how are ya? We are here to wrap this vlog up. I finished, I don't know what dates are, and I don't have there it is. Let's talk how long it took me to do this little challenge. This is doing much better than the last time I did this challenge. It took me 3 weeks. I ended up, hold on, I have to count things. It took me 12 days, so a little less than 2 weeks. So we're getting better. We're going to try this again because I am, if nothing, a consummate optimist. Very cynical optimist. I have to be an optimist because I keep trying things, being like, yeah, I'll do better this time. Let's talk about what I read during this little experiment that I tried, this attempt. I actually read a lot of books this time. The last time I only read like 2. You will have already seen that vlog, actually, I do believe. First one that I finished was All Systems Red by Martha Wells. I think it got 5 stars this time. Like, just being able to go back and reread and see all of the things that Martha Wells is putting in here and building towards, it's very funny because when I read these the first time, I'll just talk about Artificial Condition now. When I read these the first time, this got 4 stars, this got 5 stars. And this is the one, like, this hit harder for reasons I don't know. This time around, this just hit a lot harder than Artificial Condition did. I'm not sure how, why, what, when, where, who. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. Such a good series though. I cannot wait I'm saving Rogue Protocol for reasons for February. They just bring me such joy. It's just such really nice, easy, effortless science fiction. There is a perfect amount of plot, world building, and character in here. You get just enough world building to be able to continue on with the story, but she doesn't dump everything on you, and I think that really works and don't get me wrong, I love a good, like, I'm not fully anti-info dump, I just like them to be done well. If the info dump is done really well, you don't notice that there is an info dump. And I think that she does a really good job of weaving the world building into the story. That is what I want for my science fiction. That is what I want for my fantasy. Like, it needs to be woven in. This is also a really good series if you want to get into science fiction and you are intimidated by books like The Expanse, because they're massive. They're not really. They're 500 pages, and it's very thick pages, I promise. Like, they're so much fun. They're very accessible as well. But this is a very accessible place to start with science fiction because the world is different from our own. It's definitely in the future, but there is enough here that is familiar. You're not having to deal with a lot of technical jargon. You're not having to deal with a lot of world building. You are dealing with things that are very much like, if you do any studying, honestly, if you have any knowledge of, like, colonialism and how resources are extracted and what happens with that, like, you're going to have some of this, like that's going to be familiar. I think this is a good place to start if you're trying to get into science fiction and you're number one, because they're very short. It's also a very good way just to dip your toes in and get an idea of what science fiction is like and what it feels like. Granted, like, if you're looking at pacing, plot, a lot of the, like, it's very, very minimal compared to what you're going to see in a lot of science fiction books. But I think it's a good place to get your teeth into, get an idea of what science fiction is as a genre, and start familiarizing yourself and getting more comfortable with some of these concepts and the idea of like futuristic worlds and technology. The next book that we'll have to talk about is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is another one that is, I think, a very good intro text, like this is a college class. This is another one that's a very good one if you're looking to get into the fantasy genre. Not a beginner fantasy book, but I would say that this is close enough and tied enough and familiar enough when it comes to politics and all of that stuff. And then one of the things about fantasy and sci-fi is that they are a fantastic way to look at things that we deal with in our everyday life in a different manner. A lot of the time you'll be reading these and you'll be like, I know exactly what part of history this is being taken from. I know exactly what concept we're working with. It's just so much fun. I love this series. I don't think V.E. Schwab is ever going to be able to top this series for me. Like, I've tried to find books from her that are just as good as this, and none of them hit the same. I love Kalamila. Like, they just, deep in my soul, I feel like a kinship with them. They are just so much fun. I just love this book. It is such a fun world. I love this idea of this portal fantasy where we have different worlds that are connected in this one point, this one place. And the way that having all of these different worlds connected has like affected each of them. That just like fantastic. Like I'm sitting there, well, why is it London in every, and then I was like, well, probably it's London in every single world because they're all connected there. It's fantastic. It's lovely. It's wonderful. Again, I highly recommend. This is also another one that's really good for people who are trying to go or more used to YA fantasy and trying to go into adult, because I think that this does a really good job of being what's known as a crossover. So it's good for teen audiences and it's good for adult audiences. Other books that we read. I did read Vampire Forensics. I'm not quite done with this. I read this for quite a while I was getting my hair done. I made it to page 163, so I'm not very far from the end of it. This is very interesting in the way that it examines the way vampires have been viewed and the different, like, specifically this is going to be focused more on European and American, primarily, actually, I would say it's European, British, Germany, France, those kinds of things. It's going through different stories. I mean, we go back as far as the 1500s. We do talk a little bit about other places in the world, but primarily it's more about like how that ended up making its way to Europe. So I will say this is not a comprehensive look at vampires and vampire lore, but I do think it is a very interesting analysis of the way that, like, even up into the 17 and 1800s, people were still like, okay, but vampires exist, and the way that that would affect politics and law and things like that in very small ways. Some of this, I'm like, this makes no sense that y'all think this, but okay. And then the final one is The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. It's very sad to get a 2-star this early in the what's it called, the year, but I did not enjoy this. Did not have a good time. And I, like, you've already watched the vlog. You know, I don't need to rehash any of this stuff. I just felt like this book didn't know what it was doing. And the interesting part of the book, like the part where I was actually like, okay, I'm interested and engaged, lasted for maybe 50 pages. I liked the family aspects of it. I liked some of the interesting, like, what was going on with the magic. And I thought it was cute that she had, like, the little recipes randomly. But I just, like, there were so many things in this book that made me go, I don't, why? Like, this is one of those that, like, I understand why people don't like second chance romances. It was cute that she got to keep the dog, though. I can't talk about a lot of my issues with this without spoiling things, so I'm not going to. That was me trying to read, so anyways, that was me trying to see how long it would take me to read for 24 hours, or get 24 hours of reading in. You know, I think it's possible that I could do better. With the right motivation, like, I could get like in a weekend, right? Like, give me a long weekend. You think that's possible? I think that's possible. Let me know if you think I should try this again. What do you think? Do you think that I should just be like, you know what? Read what you want to read. Don't worry about how long it takes you. Or do you think I should like see if I can conquer this? What do you guys think? I need your opinions. Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you enjoyed this video, I will have other videos over here. I will have my Painted Devils video over here where I tried to read for the last time I tried to read for 24 hours. If you want to see how that went, that would, Anyways, and then I will have something down here that YouTube thinks that you specifically would like. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye!